It's the final week of the NFL's regular season, and the Carolina Panthers are looking for a big finish in the Big Easy. And there's a lot at stake today, despite the fact that the Panthers missed the opportunity to reach the playoffs after a 30-24 loss to the Buccaneers just 1 week ago. For Steve Wilks, it's his last chance to showcase himself as a leader of men that many fans and players alike believe should be the next full-time head coach for the organization. For D'Onta Foreman, an opportunity to raise the bar for all bidders as he looks to ink a new deal. And for so many others, it's a shot at complete redemption for time lost. But most of all, it's about the pride of finishing strong as the team heads into the offseason. Welcome to the Caesars Superdome for Week 18 of the NFL, the season finale for the Carolina Panthers. This is going to be a good one. Got to get a good finale. Obviously, everybody concerned around the NFL about Damar Hamlin. Let's take a look at him. After going into cardiac arrest during the Bills' Monday night matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals, Hamlin is now awake and communicating with doctors and family members and headed toward what is hopefully a full recovery. During the UC Medical Center's Thursday press conference, the attending physicians gave their first major update on Hamlin's progress.
His neurological condition and function is intact. We are very proud to report that, very happy for him and for his family and for the Buffalo Bills organization. And he still has significant progress that he needs to make, but this marks a really good turning point in his ongoing care.
Now, the NFL initially suspended the game for Hamlin, but they will definitely recognize him ahead of each game this week. Now, for this week's business, of course, it's a big one, the season finale here in the Superdome. The last time these two teams met was earlier this season at Bank of America Stadium. Back in September, the Panthers held on for the 22-14 victory over the Saints. The game included highlights like Derek Brown's interception and another by J.C. Horn, while new corner Laviska Shenault provided a dose of excitement. It was former head coach Matt Rule's only win of the season. Since that time, the Panthers have replaced several key players and coaches, including former quarterback Baker Mayfield, who was cut from the roster about a month ago, wideout Robbie Anderson, running back Christian McCaffrey, now with the 49ers. The Saints lead the all-time series 29-27. Now, many thought Christian McCaffrey was simply irreplaceable, but the Carolina Panthers really got a step-up performance by D'Onta Foreman. He stepped in after the trade and gave the Panthers something they didn't have with CMC, a downhill rusher, power rusher, who will soon be looking for someone to show him the money.
I mean, honestly, I feel like I've done enough to, have an opportunity somewhere. But like I said, it's kind of out of my control right now. The only thing I control is what I do on the football field and, the work I put in to try to be successful. So, that's my focus, and, whatever's meant to be will be. I feel like God has been great to me. He's blessed me tremendously. So, whatever he has for me will be right what I need. I mean, I feel like the second half of the season, I feel like we made a lot of strides. We changed. I feel like as a team, the mentality of the team changed. I feel like we really start believing, that we can win these games and stuff. So, I just want to finish the season strong, go out here and get a win, just so we don't have a bad taste in our mouth. And then, just hopefully it propels in the next season and just, continue to grow from there.
In his first game after the McCaffrey deal, Foreman rushed for 118 yards on 15 carries to spark a Panthers turnaround on offense. Foreman has now rushed for almost 850 yards and 5 TDs, has been the pinnacle force in the Panthers' rushing attack. Despite there not being any playoff implications on the line, Steve Wilks and his crew definitely looking to extend their time with the organization. With more on what's still at stake, let's check in with two gentlemen who know exactly what's going on inside.
Thanks, guys, over there in the Big Easy. Looks like you guys are having a great time. I'm Colin Cole, and I'm joined by 10-year veteran, Mr. Steven Israel himself. Mr. Israel, thank you for joining us, sir.
No problem, Mr. Cole. How's things going, sir?
Man, everything's going well on my end, brother. How about yourself, man?
Good. Excited about 2023. A lot of people say, I don't do New Year's resolutions. And half those people are lying, but regardless if you do or you don't, you got to be excited when there's a new year coming around.
You're absolutely right, man. Because with new years comes with new changes and a lot of growth and a lot of great things. And that leads me into my first question for you, man. What's the relevance of this final game that holds no playoff implications for Coach Steve Wilkes, but you and I know it holds a lot of implications for a lot of other things. But what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, first of all, you get paid to play now 17 when you and I was playing with 16 games outside of the playoffs, but you get now 17 regular season games. You get paid to play 17 regular season games. The contract doesn't say, hey, you can take the week off if you don't make the playoffs. It doesn't say that. And whether you're obviously playing for playoff ramifications or not, your job is to go out and get a job done. And then obviously you already know it's on film. And for guys that contract is up in there in contract year, it still means a lot. It still means a lot. And then take the contract and the playoffs out of it. This is a very dangerous game, as we already know, as the world knows now after Monday night. And when you're not giving it your all physically and mentally, things can happen. So no different than the beginning of the season. You got to go out, give it your all, and like I said, it's a profession, and it's your job.
And all those factors make a lot of sense, and all those factors come into play. Specifically, when we talk about new deals, Deontay Foreman is one guy that has been highlighted by a lot of the media. What is your thoughts with him and other guys that are looking at that contract, looking at trying to ink themselves a long-term contract? How does this game fare for them? Risk reward factor.
Well, you already know a lot of people may disagree, especially professionals that's played the game or that's involved in the game. But it's just my opinion. Depending on what position you play, you can kind of hide a little bit. And you may disagree with this, but your position is one of the positions you can look like you're going 100%, but you really weren't.
I've been squirming in my seat listening to you since you said the whole hide. You said certain positions can hide, and then my ears perked up. I was like, who are you talking about exactly? And so if I'm gonna be totally brutally honest, if we up front, particularly on the defensive line and offensive line, if things don't click, then your football team is not going to be very good. They're not going to do much of anything. Run game is going to set the tempo for any football team, any football game. You want to establish a run game, and we know with this Carolina Panthers team, that's been their strength throughout the season. Is creating and starting with the running game. So I gotta believe that those five guys up front on the offensive side, dictate the tempo. So they're not really taking plays off. And then on the defensive side, hey, if you're not coming off the ball and coming with full force, you're gonna get your hat knocked off. And so I don't think that those guys. So I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with what you said there. That's a vulnerability.
On a serious note, I agree with you. It's the ultimate team sport. And I'm just overall happy for the job that Steve Wilkes has done, and how this team has come together and put together the finish that they have.
All right, Steve. So tremendous so far, man. Talk to me a little bit. I mean, you had some first-hand knowledge and some first-hand view, obviously, of your own. Talk to me a little bit about what your thoughts are on what Coach Steve Wilkes has done for the organization so far, and his potential opportunity as the head coach moving forward.
That's very easy. True professional. And what I mean by that, what a great job, has every box covered. And what I mean by that is, number one, the X's and O's is very obvious on the game plan that was put in place week in, week out since he became head coach, and what went on from starting with Monday's preparation, and then obviously when the game plan goes in on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, obviously the walkthrough stuff on Saturday, then game time. It was very obvious the X and O's, the game plan that was put in place for the games won, but also games lost. So that box is checked. He gets an A. Number two, in-game and halftime adjustments. In-game adjustments and halftime adjustments. We both know in playing this game, you go games and you see coaches all the time. I'm like, is he going to make the adjustment? Does he not see that 3rd down and 6+, they're playing cover 3 all the time? Is he going to make an adjustment over this? And, all those type of examples. He did it. He did it. That's why this season, one of the main reasons the season got turned around, because of his in-game and halftime ability to make adjustments. So that's another one. But then on top of that, the type of person he is, his character. Is he a leader of men? Steve Wilkes obviously is a leader of men. He showed you that throughout this season when he took over. But not just that, it's a direct correlation, and this is the last one where he has a box check on what he says to the media. He's not just saying all the right things and the politically correct things and things that the media wants to hear. He told you the truth. And the way he displayed and brought forth how he covered the media and what he shared with the media is exactly what you saw and how his team responded. And it'd be a shame if the Panthers don't make the right decision.
I appreciate you saying a lot of things you said, because it definitely brings up a lot of thoughts about Coach Wilkes. You talk about some of those defenses. I had the opportunity to play for some of those defenses while he was the defensive backs coach here, prior to him becoming the defensive coordinator here. And he spoke to us, and him along with my defensive line coach Eric Washington, who is now with the Buffalo Bills. Those guys would challenge each other, and they would come to meetings prepared. And I swear, I came out of meetings knowing more about coverages than I had ever previously throughout my career, just through listening to a lot of the meeting times that we had together. I put my vote in there. I know Steve does as well. So it'll be exciting to see what happens in this offseason. And if my vote counts, Steve Wilkes will definitely be the head coach of the Carolina Panthers for the 2023 season moving forward.
Good stuff. I agree.
Yeah, but so with that, we'll toss it back to those guys over in New Orleans. I think they got a little bit better weather, at least. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Thanks, guys. As we take a look at this week's injury report, Brian Burns is definitely a game-time decision. Other guys along the way, Ioannidis, you see Chandler Wooten, Brian Burns, we just talked about Dante Foreman, and Yetur Gross-Matos. We'll keep an eye on those guys. We'll be back with more, including breaking down the Saints on the Carolina Pro Football Report from Caesars Superdome. Stay with us.
At Heslop Wealth Advisors, our goal is to help small businesses develop quality retirement plans for their employees through our Lunch and Learn seminars. We provide lunch and learning tools to help your company succeed and unmatched customer service.
Welcome back to the Carolina Pro Football Report on ADSN. Always stay focused on our big show, Chopping It Up with Buck, now airing every Friday on ESPN Radio. Be sure to check out every engaging episode. You can also find it on our flagship site, adsn1.com. Now the Saints come in at 7-9 in the NFC South, second place. Antonio Ramos has more on them.
Last game of the season for the Carolina Panthers. It's been a year with ups and downs. They'll try to finish the season with a win. They're no longer in playoff contention, as we know. But a win, I think, will validate Steve Wilkes' job even more and help his chances of being the permanent coach in Carolina. Both New Orleans and the Panthers have had similar seasons. Both of them are finishing strong, but at the same time, if we go back in the season, both of them had no clear path. Mid-October, they kept fighting, but ultimately fell close in that NFC South race. The Saints are playing pretty good football right now with a 7-9 record. They beat the Eagles last week. They beat the Cleveland Browns on the road. They are on a 3-game winning streak, and although it seems they don't have a clear path in the quarterback position, a clear plan even with his head coaching position, I think this team can still play pretty good defense right now at a very high level. On the other side, Panthers players have appreciated publicly what Wilkes did this year. It doesn't matter if they can make it to the playoffs this year. They want to win today. They want to validate Steve Wilkes' job and send a strong message that they want him back next year.
Here are keys to the game. Of course, after last week's performance, the secondary has to play very strong, not make any mental errors back there. On the offensive side, Sam Darnold has to protect the football, and they definitely have to establish a potent running game. Now, here on the Carolina Pro Football Report, we always try to have fun when we enter a new venue like the Big Easy. Let's take a look at Two Jacks, a phenomenal place to eat. Sir.
Welcome to Two Jacks.
Thank you very much. I hear this is a great place, historic and iconic.
You heard correctly on all counts.
All right, Chris, this is an iconic place here in New Orleans, and of course, there's plenty of history behind it.
Sure. Two Jacks actually began at 811 Decatur Street, about 4 blocks up. In the middle of the block, right across from the French Market, it was a market restaurant owned by a butcher who catered to the folks that ran the stalls.
Right.
So at most market restaurants in the day, they would basically sell tokens or tickets early in the morning. The folks would open their stalls, then in the afternoon they'd come and they'd sit down to have a meal, and that was very much the vein of what Two Jacks was born as.
Wow.
There have been 3 owners, 3 buildings since 1856, so over 160 years we've kept it going strong. Otis and the Guichet family bought the restaurant from the Two Jacks in the early 1900s. We're also very close, about 4 blocks off of Bourbon Street and all of the tourist attractions that everybody knows and loves so well. We have a little bit of history behind us, actually, right here on the wall. A lot of people ask us right as they walk in, who is this person on the wall? This is actually Otis Guichet.
Wow.
He is the owner that sold to the present owners, the latter family. You know, we have photos all over the walls of some of the famous folks that have been in, at least since the photograph was invented.
Chris, the dining experience must be unbelievable because I've heard so many people talk about it over the years.
It feels good to see the city coming alive again, and this is such an important part of our culture, the dining scene and the restaurant scene. Our menu has changed over the years. As I said, when we started out, we were kind of this little tiny place of literal mom and pop, where whatever was served that day was what everybody ate. So that became our table d'eau menu. So we still do offer the table d'eau, because it is an historic part of what we are and what we do. But of course, we offer a full and expanded a la carte menu as well now at New Orleans Classics. I think we have one of the best turtle soups in town, for instance, which is a very traditional dish. So it's a very good fit. So one of the nicest things about our newest location, our newest home, is that we have a variety of spaces. Now we have a beautiful balcony. We have 2 dining rooms downstairs. We just passed through the bar area itself. We have an adjacent dining room we call our parlor. Quite a bit of private space on the 2nd and 3rd floors. A crew-themed room, and by crew I mean Mardi Gras crew. Ties our history in well, and it also gives us the wherewithal to do a lot more business and to offer a lot more in terms of the dining experience. This is what we call the Begay room, so named after Madame Begay, whose location, Begay's Exchange, was our second location that we moved into. But it also ties in some of the current family's history. If you look up at the top of the walls above the mirrors, you'll see this tiny bottle collection. For 40 years, when he held audience, one of his things that all of his customers knew him for was his collection of these miniature bottles.
It's amazing.
And it became a big thing amongst his guests. They would bring in bottles from all over the world. So this is, of course, our house drink. It was invented in 1918 by Philibert Guichet, one of the owners. I wish I could say it won first prize. It actually won second prize in a big national cocktail competition. Now, I will tell you, it's a little bit like dessert in a glass, but you'll see lots of grown men drinking this at our bar. It is a combination of brandy, dark and light creme de menthe, and dark and light creme de cacao with heavy cream. And now Chef Meg has one of our signature dishes for you.
This is our fish bienville.
Wow.
So it has a classic New Orleans bienville sauce along with a crab butter. And then we have our pompano for our fish tonight, and it comes with a little garnish on top, which is frisee and some red onions with a sugarcane vinaigrette.
And wow, that's unbelievable.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Perfect Christmas. Just an incredible dining experience here in the French Quarter, boy. NFL Week 18 has been delightful, starting with this meal at Two Jacks. Very iconic place, and it's been a real pleasure eating this food. Just amazing. That'll do it on the Carolina Pro Football Report pregame show. Of course, stay tuned for after the game. We'll have plenty of postgame for you. Stay with us.